rolling. Those in the windshield wipers snapping at the tempo, playing perfect rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep it rolling.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rideshare Rodeo Roundtable, Gig Worker Roundtable, Gig Worker Community Table, what is it? The Gig Worker Gathering. You got lots of names for it now. But welcome. It's funny because off here to the side where my notes are, I was watching these drop downs on my iPad for every one of us going live with the same thumbnail. It was like Kim's live, Jason's live, Cheyenne's live, Steve's live.
You sent us the thumbnail. We're going to use it. We're not going to make our own.
I know, but I was just looking at it thinking maybe I should make them different colors or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Step it up.
Yeah. But let's introduce everybody here. So we got Kim's Side Money Plans. We got the Gig Economy Podcast, Jason.
Hello.
We got Gig Work Mama, Cheyenne. And tonight we got Delivery TV. We got Luis in the house.
I'm cheating.
No, it's all right. For those of you, I mean, most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Luis. And, if you're not, check out his channel. Yes, he hits a totally different community. But, I mean, like, I even saw you live today, man. Like, I just pop in these days. Sometimes I say hi to Luis and he finds a way to like send me a signal or something. Like, I know he's so in with what he's doing. I don't want to bother him. So, but I also hate being a lurker, but I was lurking. I came in there and I just lurked for a minute because I like the energy of your show, even though I don't understand it.
Yeah, I just wrapped up my live stream. It was like an hour ago, and I finished that and came here.
Yeah, and that Thursday live stream gets big.
Yeah,
you have 350, 400 people in there consistent.
Yeah, and usually we do TikTok as well, and same amount of viewers. So it's huge, big responsibility and big news, and you have some of those news here today. We have that. Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of that for sure. Before we do totally jump in, I want to say hi to the chat, but first thing I want to say is I shared this with Kim, and I also shared it with Christopher Taylor because Christopher Taylor's been a big help and push in this. But I want to share it with everybody now. So I got a text from Mike Harubi today, actually a DM on Twitter, like a message on Twitter. That's how Mike and I usually communicate unless we're talking or doing video. And in there, he stated that he had an immediate call last night from contacts in DC that they needed, for 2 different states, they needed independent contractor videos on why people want to remain independent contractors, knowing that we have those videos now. And he was able to send them 4 videos of ours that were played in the Senate on the floor today.
Oh, very cool.
That is
so I will know which ones tomorrow. Christopher Taylor immediately was like, was one mine one? I feel like everybody's going to do that. Like, I don't know yet. When I do know which states, I'll tell you, and that should let ever of you know. Or if he just tells me, I can tell you whatever he says. I can tell you. I'm going to share, obviously, but I would assume that he's just going to tell me which of you guys he played or which ones were sent over. But they were used in the fight for this. So I do want to use this time, and especially while we have Luis here tonight, to make sure that you guys know that's not over. That's always in the link, always in the show notes. I always put, if you want to upload a 30 to 60 second video. I mean, Cheyenne did one. She didn't even live in the United States.
Traitor.
Yep.
I mean, no, but hers was unique and just different. I mean, look, guys, this is how easy it is. Hi, I'm Steve. You don't have to give your last name. I live in the Colorado market or the Denver market, whichever you're okay saying. I prefer, and keep it positive, I prefer to be an independent contractor because, and then just 10, 15 seconds. Why? Flexibility, even if it's just flexibility. Maybe it's flexibility and allowing you to earn outside of a W-2. Maybe it's that you had another kid and you need some, I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but just introduce yourself, your state. And that way we know in the database if any state needs those to fight this ongoing battle, then we have that database to pull. And Mike's been running it with Be My Own Boss and that legislation about be your own boss. It's very simple. But yeah, anyway, that's not done at all. And actually, Luis, I was hoping, I asked him about it, and he said it would be awesome if we could get some in Spanish.
Definitely. And
So
I will help.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen the videos that we've been making, right? These short videos. Maybe if you haven't, well, I can send you some. But like Kim's made one, you know, I mean, Cheyenne did one. Jason still has one. Jason needs to.
Count on me.
Yeah. But then to get like 10 people who wouldn't mind doing it in your community, because there's a lot of lawmakers who are Spanish too.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, this is a big deal, and that we haven't had yet, so that would be big.
Yeah, and we have to join forces.
Yeah, no, this is a full-blown assault war, and we're all together in it. So I guess I wasn't going to start there, but we can start there, because that the article that you were talking about, or that Louise was bringing up, was that Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub finally today an article dropped, and there's going to be a lot more dropping too, but they're using the right wording, and a lot of us don't want to hear this wording, I know, but most people who are just familiar with what's going on, they don't mind hearing this word. So we're going to be talking about the migrant situation for just a minute. But before that, let me just say hi to chat, because otherwise I'll fall way behind. We'll never, ever, ever get to it.
I'm going to hold you to that minute talk on migrants, not 40 minutes.
What's
Get
up?
the timer
Carl?
ready.
What's up, Randy? Hi, Ellen, Carnifage, Traveler. Gary Middleton, bunch of haters. I don't know why he's saying that. We hadn't even started the show.
Yeah, that's so out of pocket.
What's up, Donna? Slap Gary for us. What's up, Gigan? Hey, Bubba Sue. Hey, Thomas, how are you? Ivanaska, how are you doing? Christopher Taylor, how are you? Sue, Diana, Truth Be Told, Rideshare Rick, how are you? And who else am I missing here? Did I get everybody? Okay, now if I fall behind, it's not my fault, because we did it in the start. I feel like if I missed that in the beginning, it's just a gone lost cause. But so I don't know why this hasn't happened before. I think, we talked about this, and Kim had an issue in her market, and now we have 3 senators from 3 different states acknowledging the problem and saying, okay, we need to address this, that this is way too easy of a way for migrants to be working illegally. The whole article is, and they're exposing everything. They're saying that they're not blind to the fact about DoorDash either, that DoorDash is the worst of the 3. So they're very much pissed off, because I think we mentioned this real quickly, you guys. If you come into this country illegally, there's a way to come in and still be illegal, but legal, if that makes any sense. When you first come in and get your court date, and you're the first day here in the States and you're illegal, you can't work until you've been here for 180 days. And even then you have to have a temp work permit. That it's different on basically what you can do, but you have to do the 180 days. So not only are these people not in the system, but what kind of employment can they even get? Well, what they're doing is, and it says it right here, they're paying delivery workers to piggyback on their accounts to be able to use them all the time. They now know that. They know that Facebook is being used. They want Facebook looked into. And when it got down to the, there's a lot of quotes and whatnot. And like we used to do when we're done tonight, I will put the articles that we talk about into the show notes so that you guys can come back and read them if you want, because it goes a little deeper. But as usual, all the platforms' responses pissed me off to no end, because they know exactly what's going on. And it's sad to see this, that, let me see if I can find, because they were all short and they were all just weak. Okay, so Grubhub said account sharing is completely unacceptable on Grubhub and will result in immediate termination. Uber said all couriers who deliver with Uber are required to hold a valid right to work in the U.S. pass pass a criminal background check and be over 18. Okay, who's carrying a right to work in the U.S. card? I want to know if any single person doing gig work is carrying one of those.
No, but isn't that the 180-day one? Isn't that probably?
Yeah, but I don't think you could get onto an account like this because you wouldn't pass a background check in the first place because you're not a citizen. You can't run a back here. My point being, let's just keep it easy. Let's say you came over from Mexico illegally. You did the 180 days. You were living with family, so you're kind of establishing. They can't run a background check on you in Mexico.
No, but yeah, they can't. I mean, the pass probably gives them some sort of number to identify them, and then they could probably run with that. But that doesn't do anything with Mexico.
Right. It's supposed to be more that it really isn't supposed to be that. If you look into this, you don't find a lot of illegals that are independent contractors. Most of them go to W-2 settings.
Yeah.
And things like that and whatever.
And find a way without affecting people. Like we saw the article, Business Insider article, where U.S. citizens were receiving like $60,000 1099. That's alarming. That is crazy what's going on right now.
Right. And what Luis is talking about are the people who are saying like, wait a minute, I've never worked for this company a day in my life. And now they're getting like tax returns saying you did 50 grand worth of work on Doordash last year. And it's like, what? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, the weird thing about that kind of stuff is who does that fall on? Who's the responsible end of the line for paying those taxes?
Yeah. Because how are they going to prove that they didn't work for DoorDash if all their documentation was used for DoorDash?
That must be a nightmare to figure out.
Can you
imagine?
It seems like one of the simplest ways would be what all of us have said we don't even mind doing. We didn't used to like this, but it's necessary now.
According to
that, take my photograph when I open the app. Make me show my ID. Do something that shows me that you're being legit about this.
What I find interesting is they lumped Grubhub in that. From what I know, Grubhub really isn't, that I know of, an issue. It's more of a DoorDash Uber Eats issue. I've never heard Grubhub get linked into any of this.
They are really picky with documents.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, still somebody could be using somebody else. I mean, they were picking on different ways that these are being. The coolest thing is in here that I saw was a lot of the language they're using. These three senators are pretty cool because they're like language we know, tied to the gig economy. Like they're down, they get it. They're like they understand what's going on here.
Maybe
I mean, like we have a like a legit count here, and this is just October 1st to March 31st. That there have been 1,733,496 migrant encounters at the Mexican border. That's just for what is that? 6 months?
That's a lot.
So I mean, they're straight up blaming that. They're saying that millions of illegal immigrants have flooded across the border and have since taken work, and they're saying how so much of that work is coming from this space directly. Like the three senators together were saying basically, it says also praised the three companies by saying, it says Blackburn, Braun, and Bud, which are the three senators, but I don't know how they made a statement like this together, but they said your services have improved the lives of so many Americans, but they underscored the need to inspire consumer confidence and crack down on this underground system of illegal work. And that's what's craziest to me about this article is that they actually have pinned the problem that many of us don't think many people have noticed, which is that the consumers are noticing. Which that makes me glad. I'm glad the consumers are noticing. Like, why is my girl delivery person that's coming in a SUV in a red car with three guys, and it's a guy?
And maybe that happened in the past, but this last month, it's something that is a regular situation. Like all the orders, all the orders that customers make, and a different driver come and deliver the order. And thinking about New York, crazy situation in New York with laws. They are fighting for low a minimum pay. How can you fight, or how can a minimum pay can work if you have a dasher with 7 accounts? You can't. If you get to a restaurant and you see a dasher with 7 accounts, how can you work in that situation? And that is the problem. Oh, the right to work. Don't come here with that. That is not the problem. The problem is that you don't only buy one account, you buy 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy. And that's happening right now.
But also, Luis, I think you know this. You and I were talking about this last week in person, that some of these accounts are being bought and they're being run by 3 people in cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So like one single account is being run by 3 people 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that account never turns off.
But
it's different people.
There's a market to if you get disconnected, and there's a black market that you pay and you get reactivated, and it's so big, so much money there that regular people with good papers and everything good are not able to work because they get deactivated and they have to pay. But if they don't pay, where do I begin?
It's like a cartel.
I feel like I already know for a fact. Yeah, exactly. And that's where I know he's going too. But I already know that I'm trying to recall the exact conversation, but I know we were drinking too, Luis. But I do know that we were kind of busting into this, like why so much on, like here, like you said, Kim, they're plugging Grubhub and they're talking about all 3 of them. But yet, like, really, why isn't the gauntlet dropped where it should be? Why isn't it DoorDash and Spark? Why are we not talking about Spark?
I think Spark Driver is the worst of all the apps in this situation. It's the worst. What's going on? I was talking today with the audience and I was saying that I just lost hope with Spark Driver. They don't. I have a connection with Spark Driver a year ago. I lost that connection with them. I went to Curvybore. I got to meet some people from Spark Driver. I started sharing the information about what's going on, but everything got worse, way worse. So everything I did in this last year, I think I waste my time there. I don't want to talk with Spark Driver. I don't care. I want to talk with New York Post, with Washington Post, with all the posts, because I think that talking to the media help. Mm-hmm. And I understand that people can say, come on, let people work. No, you don't get it. This is dangerous. Gangs, black market, unfair things. I mean, that's
what I was going to say. You and I were talking about. I just didn't want to get too far into it because you and I went down a pretty deep rabbit hole about the gangs. It's not just a couple. There's a lot of people with gangs over here, affiliation right now. And like you were just saying about, like, it's scary. People, these are people delivering food to your house that are not supposed to be here. That
exactly.
Not only, look, our vetting process for illegals isn't the best anyway. And a lot of people have a court date and they don't show up or whatever, but at least we have an allowance of how much of that we let happen here. But since day one in this country, there's been a method to get in here. You couldn't come here when we were first sending people over. You couldn't come here and have the plague. They would make you lie on the dock till you died and then just kick you in the water.
I just don't get, like, all this. We've said this before. I can't even tell you how many times. Everything is in front of all of these company faces. They're just not doing, in my opinion, they're just not doing anything about any of these situations, because it's either they're making money off of it, they're getting orders delivered, like they're in according to them, they're in good standings, but they don't understand the effects. I don't think they understand the effects of how it affects everybody involved, the customer, the other drivers. Like there's so many different factors that it actually affects.
I don't think they care about how it affects the drivers. I think they don't, as you said, they don't understand how it affects the customers because the whole safety side of it. But I really don't think they care how it affects the drivers because they're getting orders delivered.
Right, but we finally have senators. That's why I think that Luis saw it. I mean, I saw it. Like we saw the real hit of this article and the articles that are going to follow this one in the coming days, because now there's senators on board getting other senators on board. That means these senators heard from enough constituents saying, hey, why are people illegally delivering my food every day? Senators don't bring it up till enough people complain.
I just sent you a link. DoorDash did something. Yesterday, they launched this article. I just sent it via the private chat. So if you can take a look of that. Basically, they are saying that they are improving the security in the app. So you have to make the selfie and you have to make some steps. And they are encouraging the merchant and customers to say something if they see something weird, like a different driver. I mean, they did something. Everything that they are saying here in the New York Post, I think those are steps in the right direction. So I think we really have to be vocal. We really have these type of spaces and conversation are good because create awareness in the community, and I know that we can reach people and journalists that can do something about it.
Yeah, or at least make noise. I didn't even get to I got to put in the last one. I didn't even get to the comment that DoorDash said. So they said about all this in this article, there is no place on the DoorDash platform for those who can't or won't verify their identity. To help ensure that Dashers are who they say they are and prevent access by individuals looking to abuse our platform, we've built a robust, multi-layered identification system and safety screening process for anyone who wants to deliver through our platform. I call that 100% bullshit.
Yeah, seriously.
Agreed.
I mean, you're the worst at doing it. Multi-layered. What is it? Gary's in here. Gary, what's that mean? What is like they stack it like Bud Soda? What the hell is that? You stacking your background. That sentence sounds like it came from a real company involved in tech. Like, here's what we're doing for you. And really, we all know DoorDash. You're not doing any of that.
They're not doing anything.
If you read the New York Post, in the end, they mention what companies mention. They don't say anything. They just it's like they copy paste that what they have in their policies, but they don't say anything about what they are doing. In the New York Post, you read a DoorDash spokesperson similarly stressed that there's no place on the DoorDash platform for those that can. That's what says in the
right. But right below it's where they've built a robust, multi-layered identification verification system.
Sounds interesting.
And that would be great if you did it more often. Like,
yes, more often.
Like, and I think, Jason, we said this last week, is like they're just not doing it enough. Like, it's easy for these people who have these bot accounts, fake accounts, whatever word you want to put in there, that the only thing they have to do, if you give them time, they just go back to whoever the account is, take a picture, and then come back. But if you do it several times, they don't have that opportunity, and it lessens their opportunity on the platform. And then when you get into, areas that actually have, the rewards or tier program, then it becomes a little bit more complicated, because if you get kicked off, you can't get back on because you're not scheduled. So
it should be every time you log in to work.
Every time.
Right. And I mean, this comment coming from who it's coming from too, who's done a lot of DoorDash, from Gigan. He's in Minnesota. This comment coming from him speaks volumes. He's never once had a facial recognition. But they've got a robust, multi-layered, blah, blah, blah bullshit thing going. Come on.
Yeah. I've never had one on DoorDash.
Luis, and I'm going to go back to Spark for a half a second. Wasn't a couple weeks ago when we were we talking about one of the best things that we ever saw? What was it, that TikTok lady who keeps like ordering Walmart? Remember that really funny video that the lady keeps, and it's like is it Maria or Anna or something like that? And a guy comes to the door and she's just like, "You're not so-and-so." And then they finally get a fake person to come to the door that's a woman.
I made a video of that news, and the video got like 2 million views. Amazing, crazy. I was like, wow, where all these people come from? It's crazy. Yeah, this lady ordered, and this guy came, and she recorded the whole thing, and it wasn't the driver, and the guy couldn't speak in English, and she was expecting a girl, and a guy came, and I mean, let me ask you, would you give your gate code or your address to a gang member, to a person that you don't know where that person come from?
Of course not.
These companies are giving. I want in all this process, because I'm really energetic about what we are doing here, and I received this threat, and I went to the police to make a report. And when I told the cop what the situation, what was happening, it was like, I'm a customer. You are saying that the guy that comes and bring my groceries it might be a member of a gang? And I was saying, exactly. The guy asked me, so if I go to Walmart right now, I'm going to find them? Go, man. And he was like, okay, all right, talk to you later. And I don't know what happened there, but
I'm only laughing because it's sad that you can say that comment and mean it. I know exactly what Luis means. He was saying literally, go over there. And I get it. Some people might go, dude, you're stereotyping if you say that. No, it depends where you are, but I know a lot of people who have shown some accidental video, or even they put it out or whatever. And I've seen it. And yes, you can tell who's doing this stuff. It's real clear. It's real clear. That's another thing too, that I was telling Kim, and I were talking about Curry today, and I just had to drop to Kim. I'm like, that's one of the best things about Curry. It's all B2B. If anybody that was an illegals went into a B2B warehouse and shoved their phone in somebody's face and started not speaking English, they would be leveled, laid on their ass on the ground right there. And I mean, like that might be the best. So again, I feel safer in an app space like that, because you can't invade it, because you need to know how to talk to people. If you can't, that's not going to work for you.
This is a video this is the type of video that I receive in a daily basis. This is in a Walmart, and everything that they say is in Spanish, but I don't think you're gonna have problem understanding. So it's like fighting against people with bots and people that don't have bots. Spark driver, you use bots, give me my order, and that craziness in a Walmart parking.
Wow, right there in the parking lot.
Right there in the parking lot, like fighting and all these people in a Walmart parking lot. Come on.
I mean, not to be mean, but what other parking lot would it be in?
That's crazy.
Put your house in order, Spark driver. You are creating this situation. Come on.
Yeah, I'm surprised Walmart. I've been saying this for a while. I'm surprised Walmart doesn't care about. I understand that they just make their money and they don't give a shit about their perception. But to be honest, I'm surprised they don't care about this, because this is going to make the customers feel unsafe going in.
But I think that's why.
Well, I don't think the customers understand the level of how unsafe it is.
If they see that, they would.
If they see, yes. So if they're starting to see this kind of stuff, and that's, I don't remember who was that put the comment up there, and Luis said the same thing. Going to the media and now talking about it openly, I think is what's going to kind of ring the alarms a little bit, because customers, this isn't new that people are delivering and it's not the name. It's just that customers used to do TikToks about it and just they'll laugh it off. They'll be like, oh, Sue was supposed to come deliver and it was like a Michael or something. But I don't think anyone's making that link of, wait a second, this person could be someone that is completely illegal in this country and can do something to me, and it's part of a cartel. Like, I don't think they understand the level of severity that this is.
Because this is the thing, and I've said this before, but like Walmart's a trusted brand, right? It's the number one, retailer that's out there right now. So you take the number one retailer that everybody trusts, and they think that it's part of the Walmart brand, but the drivers aren't part of the Walmart brand because they're not on it correctly. So people are putting their faith in the Walmart brand. And I think that's why it's so disappointing. It's because it is Walmart and this is happening under their roof.
And don't get me started with the dispatchers in Walmart, because I have a video of a dispatcher saying, I am going to take you out from the order and give it to another driver because I don't care about you and blah, blah, blah. I have the video.
See, I asked about that once before too. I asked, I didn't know that the dispatchers on location for Spark had that ability. I thought if they, let's say that they pulled Jason off a job, I thought that it just went back to a queue. I didn't know that they could go, oh, he's off it, I'm giving it to this guy.
Yeah, I knew that they could take you off, but I didn't know they could reassign. I thought it would go into the big pot wherever,
yeah, exactly.
it dispatches and then it sends it out again.
Because that's also inviting criminal behavior on the part of the Spark dispatcher.
Yeah.
Big time. Because somebody could just forget bots. Somebody could just be paying him cash under the table.
Right.
Exactly. Here's $100. Give me some orders, bro.
Yeah.
I have videos of dispatchers sitting with the bot sellers, and the bot sellers doing the hair of the dispatchers, like spending time, enjoying the afternoon. And I have those pictures, and I already sent those pictures to the app. Nothing happened. So
of course they're going to pretend like you never sent it. They're going to play that we never got that email card.
I think Luis, I think it's your point. I think that's not the way to go. I think you were right before that, and Cheyenne, you said it too, that it's all about at this point blowing it up and going to the media, because it seems like that's the only way that it's getting anything accomplished. I mean, finally, I think I said it to Steve. I'm like, finally, someone's actually paying attention to what's going on.
So
and that's why this article will grow. Watch, this article is going to become many articles. I already know a couple that are coming out tomorrow based off this, but their own articles. And what will it also do? These won't be the only 3 senators involved in this very soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
The beginning, yeah. And something that I can, an advice that I can give is, if you see this article and you see that Ryan King brought it, find Ryan King and send him all the info that you have, because Ryan King is working on it. So this is an article from Ryan King. Alexander Bitter is the one who is really working hard with a Business Insider, and that's the word. Who wrote those articles? Let's go there.
Yeah, especially, I mean, not to diminish the second one you said, but especially the one that wrote this article out today, because this article right now is drawing a ton of attention. So he's getting a ton of attention. So send him anything. You guys got something? So, I mean, even if it's just some screenshots, whatever. I mean, they compiled this evidence to make things, and they're now working with senators. I mean, this is where things get done. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting because they want to get involved into I understand where they're going. They want to get involved in the security portion at a bare minimum. And that's, I mean, look, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. Can we, in the 2 years ago, we were like, no legislation, never, we'll leave. But now it's like, hey, if it's written correctly, and I had somebody the other week, and I'll just roll through this, or it was last week, say to me in a comment saying, you were talking about all this legislation. There's been none passed this year. Well, let's roll through it. 2020, California, Prop 22, 2023, New York City, 2024, this year, so far, passed legislation already enacted into law, 4 states, Washington State, Utah, Pennsylvania, Florida. Also, in the next 3 months, Massachusetts, Illinois, Minnesota, Colorado, and the ones that will be announced with exact verbiage here in the next couple of weeks: New Jersey, Connecticut, and Wisconsin. That's 13 states. How many do you guys want? Because we've talked about this. Don't think that, oh, good, you didn't name my state. We're all going to pay for these states. Doesn't matter what state you live in.
Which, by the way, King Kevin was on 1015, which is one of our local news stations. So she tweeted the other day that she was on, and she did. I listened to it. She did a really good job. She was on morning radio. So I'm like, oh,
she's not to be reckoned with. She's
it was a good
smart
segment. So congratulations. Yeah. I don't know whether she's listening, but
yeah. No, Kim's amazing. I guess all the Kims from New Jersey are amazing, right?
Okay, we'll go with that.
I know that you guys differ on one thing. You're a Bon Jovi lover. She's a Bruce Springsteen lover.
But she's not a Bon Jovi hater, so she's still
no. But both those artists are from New Jersey too. That's why. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
what's the difference?
Are you kidding me? Oh my god! I'm like, my heart just went.
How much time do you have?
Well, I mean, Kim won't like this.
That's exactly
this
what
answer,
he
but I would say probably about 50 times to 100 times the one has more money than the other.
Like my heart just like sank to the ground. I'm like, oh my god, seriously?
Okay.
I don't want to fight. Okay, I'm joking. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do apps really want drivers not to be independent contractor, or they do want us to be independent contractors?
Oh, they absolutely want us to be IC. Because if we're employees, then they just close. They can't make a profit as it is. If we were W-2s, they couldn't afford the payroll.
You would think that, but what about the Dasher reward programs and all these programs that almost make you a W-2? Like,
it doesn't mean they don't want to control you.
I was gonna say they want to pay. They want to pay you like an independent contractor, but treat you like a W-2 employee.
Yeah. So they still want to control you.
They ride that line real close. And especially when you're talking about DoorDash, I just want to slap DoorDash, because they're breaking every damn rule there is. I mean, Top Dasher, you can't have these levels. You can't track people's driving. You can't, anything they're doing, you can't do. If we're independent contractor, you can't do it.
And that is worse. I don't want you as an employee. I want to control you. Ooh, that's darker. Ooh.
Yeah. And it's like with legislation, they're like, okay, we've been controlling you, but now you guys got all pissed off and called people. So now we're gonna make it really dark.
Mm-hmm. Seattle's
actually on my list here, but first I was listening to Jason's podcast last night, and I hadn't even seen this, and I normally, like, it's rare that I'm like, wait, I didn't see that. What? And so I titled this, "And Swastika Was Her Name-o." Just because we're talking about security, and I just wanted to see if Jason wanted to kind of run through that a little bit. It's not the biggest deal article, but it should be after what we just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, someone had that name, and it's even before the Nazis had it. It was a common name that meant like grace or mercy or something very sweet. And she tried to order on Uber Eats, and then of course they flagged it when she typed in her name, because it violates, their community guidelines. And it took her 5 months and like 2 separate organizations to fight for her to get back on the platform because of that. So all because of this name. So it's like this big, huge thing because of it. And I get it. It's, to us folks over here, it's kind of and Germany, it's kind of like a big deal. Really all over the world. So it seemed odd that she had to fight so hard to do that. But yet, like we talk about, people buying accounts and just bebopping around doing Doordash and Spark, and it's no big deal.
But that's my point. We just read how DoorDash said they have this multi-level. Yeah. We have the best security in the world. Couldn't you just show them your driver's license and say, "Hey, you already have it, but here it is again, idiot."
Yeah.
That's my legal name.
I didn't even realize there was like a verification that was done on that.
Didn't
What
we
do you
just do
mean?
an
pointing out,
article?
like you can be demand and have gold teeth. You can be pimp hater and have
Yeah,
a picture
like-
of your pit bull, but you can't have the name swastika and that's your birth given name.
But what didn't we just do an article a couple weeks ago about somebody's last name was either DoorDash or Uber or something like that, and they couldn't get on the
Yeah, I remember-
platform, or they were
yeah, it
kicked
was-
off the platform or something
I
like
remember
that. But
that
that
one.
was actually like the real name.
Yeah, I think it was
Right?
Uber, and I think it was Rideshare. I think didn't they somehow like, oh, and then Lyft, it wasn't Uber, but Lyft gave them like a bunch of free
Yeah.
rides because Uber screwed them. So Lyft
It
came in
was
and gave them
something
like
like
life
that.
of rides or something for free. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. But again, like it's just, it kills me. I understand swastika is not a term people like to use, but at the same time, this is this person's name. She's just trying to work legally. You know, like,
Personally, I would change my name, but whatever.
yeah, but
We also talked about a guy that had the name Saturday, and it was his God-given name, and some lady argued with him on the phone, or she got in the Uber and his name was Saturday, and like from this country he was from, that's a very common name, and I don't know if it's actually Saturday is like how you say it, probably not, because I'm just a honky, but like he is like, he had to pull his license out and show it because the lady was like, no, that's the day of the week, and he's like, no, ma'am, that's my name.
so I have this pulled up, and then I actually so I sent an article to Kim earlier, but I sent this to Ellen, who lives in Vegas, and she kind of we've talked about this before, but this is crazy to me that it's going on again and on this level. So in Clark County, which is Las Vegas, several Las Vegas restaurants had filed a class action lawsuit against Uber Eats, reporting imposter restaurants. So Uber has paused onboarding on any new restaurants and establishments and established a contact for affected restaurants. So right now they're not even bringing on new restaurants in Clark County, which is Vegas, which is crazy. But the restaurants responsible for the lawsuit is Esther's Kitchen, Baby Stacks Cafe, Rebel Kitchen, Maniza's Pizza, Timeless Cuisine, and Gaetano's Restaurante.
What are they all ghost kitchens?
They are all ghost kitchens, and they got caught because one of those that I just named happened to get on DoorDash or Uber. Sorry, Uber. They happened to get on Uber because they were told by somebody, hey, somebody they knew, kind of like a friend who knows their restaurant. And they said, hey, I ordered your food from the app the other night and it wasn't your food or whatever. And so this person knew the restaurant where the ghost kitchen was the owner of one of the places being exploited knew the owner of the location that all 6 of these places were running out of. And he played stupid, like, I don't know. But so basically, these places not only are being misrepresented, they all have said to Uber, screw off, we will not be on your platform. They don't participate in Uber platform.
Whenever I hear about like pizza, like ghost kitchen pizzas, I think of like that YouTube kid who he did frozen pizzas out of his apartment. It was selling
I remember
little
pizzas out of
Tortinos
his
or whatever, the dollar
apartment.
pizzas.
So you never know if you're going to get a frozen pizza if it's a ghost kitchen.
Well, this is more than that. And so anyway, this went on for so anyway, they haven't named all of them, but the imposters ordered under or have used 14 different restaurant names. The only ones I read are the ones involved in the lawsuit so far. But also involved in this is so there's the defense.
How do the legitimate restaurant feel about this? I mean,
obviously they've told Uber, we don't want to work with you. They've made, I mean, a couple of them have even said we work with Grubhub. One of them said they worked with Grubhub. So they've made some executive decisions. These must be, I'm not there. So like, here's Ellen. I sent it to her. She said she's picked up from, and she said the one that is the ghost kitchen to them. I mean, it's named. We could name it right here, which location it is. And if you're picking up from there, expect that guy, the person who owns that, to go to jail soon. Because they've been running 14 kitchens out of one, and it's a bagel shop.
What are your position about ghost kitchens?
I think they need some very, very big. I think that, I mean, first of all, the health board needs to be alerted to them the second they get a license. And they should be inspected immediately and every month.
I think they need to define ghost kitchens. I'll be honest, because we talked about ghost kitchens being, what is it? Chili's is just wings, and all these national chains are doing. That's considered a ghost kitchen. But then you have like these people who are operating out of their apartments that are technically, they're saying they're restaurants, but you go up to someone's house and that's considered a ghost kitchen. Like, I think there needs to be.
I mean, like if I sit in my
definition.
car outside of 7-Eleven and I sell everything from 7-Eleven at twice the price outside of my car or in my car, am I a ghost car?
Sure.
So
There's a new app.
I can make everything twice the price of 7-Eleven and just walk in and get it. And then when they get there, just hand it to them double the price. Why
There's
not?
a new app.
You just
Instead
need
of
people to buy
hoopty
it.
rides, you can now do ghost cars.
Blame on Uber. Definitely blame on Uber. I mean, the concept of ghost kitchen is creative. It's interesting. I think it's
Yes.
interesting.
Oh, I like it too. I just
Beginning
don't.
order.
I feel like none of them are following any kind of like good guidelines. We hear too. Even the companies that are doing it legitimately, like we've talked about this before. They just rename a bad product.
Yeah.
Like okay, perfect example. None of us adults like Chuck E. Cheese pizza. We'd rather die than eat it.
It depends.
But if we've had kids, we eat it on many occasions because we're there with our kids, and you just got to have something.
It
Right.
depends. Every time I go to Chuck E. Cheese and I'm hungry and I see this guy eating a pizza, I'm like, I want that.
Right, but so they don't call it Chuck E. Cheese pizza. If you order it through DoorDash or whatever, I can't even remember what it's called. It's called something totally.
Pasquale's or
Pasquale's. They're so embarrassed of their
Pasquale's
pizza.
is Chuck E. Cheese.
They call it. They have
They
to call it
even
something
well,
else.
we don't have it. Like, we don't have it, but I'm just saying, like, the name of it, they even took like a nice Italian name that will make you think that it's like a nice pizzeria,
Yeah.
but it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Thomas, I'm
Right?
with you, man. Let me abuse here and give him an applause. This is a really good message.
It is.
It's a great message.
Damn, the only thing I want to do is deliver. That's right. It got so complicated. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, Luis, you and I talked. I was embarrassed to tell Luis, but I was kind of excited too because I had just raised my AR on DoorDash when I saw him in person last week. I was like, I'm up to like 14% now.
Ooh.
And he's like, bro, I'm at 8. So I need to ask you, Luis, like you and people who will not do the top tier programs anymore. I mean, what is your community saying? Are they able to even schedule?
No, and there's a big problem because now DoorDash is saying, okay, to being able to schedule, you need to be in Platinum. And you're gonna see the orders are the blocks, the hours at 3 p.m. But what I've been hearing and receiving from the audience is that they are Platinum and they are not they're not able to schedule at 3 p.m. So I don't know what's going on with DoorDash, but they are not able to schedule and they are not able to do the dash now. And that's a big confusion because people think, well, I'm Platinum. Now I can dash now anytime I want. No. That is not the case. Now you have priority. A scary word. Priority. Oh, that means that when DoorDash want.
Yeah.
And when DoorDash needs. And so to being able to even dash now when you're a Platinum, you have a higher opportunity, but no, it's crazy. What I've been receiving is not positive, and people are really scary with what's going on.
Hello Yes is in LA. They've recently been checking out some of the last mile stuff. I can talk about that, and I will. on 13 minutes this week because I got to get off this DoorDash blast anyway. So I was going to, those 13 states I just talked about, hopefully no more added because it kind of works. 13.
I love your
13
segment, man.
13.
I love that segment. 30 minutes. I'm always like, I'm going to be 10 minutes. 30.
But that is what I'm planning on talking about is like which of these states is doing what, because people do need to start adding these up. Like I said, somebody emailed me and said, well, none has passed this year. And what are you talking about? There's no legislation. Well, there's actually 2 from past years, and there's actually 4 that have been already put into law this year. There's another 4 coming before end of July, and there's potentially 3 more states now writing up theirs. So, I mean, I guess it needs to be talked about. It's my point. I'll talk about it for sure. So, thank you for that comment. You just made me a lot more work. So thank you. Appreciate you.
The yesterday DoorDash launched Dasher reward for almost every state. Everybody received the news, the big news. You are gonna get the Dasher reward. Get happy. The advice is try to schedule since like right now. Start your scheduling for next week and next week and next week, because that is the first hit that you're gonna receive. The scheduling, and try to improve if you want to get into these programs, try to get better acceptance rates. In my case, and because I'm a content creator, I am going to do the work so people can see the real thing. And you already know what's going to happen. I'm going to be doing $1 orders, 50 cents to 27 million miles, 2 orders per day. Like, I am going to war today. First order, go to Oklahoma. Okay, that's only 1 order. See you tomorrow. Good.
Or just do the whole live for 20 hours and go, hey guys, it's going to be worth it when I get that $1.
Woohoo!
It's so crazy.
I real quickly want to touch on this just because I think it's funny. And I actually when I did Black Car Service, I actually had to a couple times work with some executive assistants and stuff. And Uber added the delegate profiles for executive assistants. And it just made me laugh because, like I said, I've dealt with this stuff before. And it's basically giving you real-time visibility. You can book them black cars. So basically you can schedule a car, which you can already do. You can do basically Uber functions, but the executive assistant to somebody can do it now. And all I could think of while I was reading this article is, man, there's going to be a lot of executive assistants fired. You can't, I mean, what? If I was an executive assistant, I would not be using the Uber app to make sure that my client is being treated correctly. No way.
Uber is creative with so many options, and so they want to be all over the place. Like I went to LA.
This is just stupid, though.
I went to LA a couple of weeks ago, and I discovered that you can rent a car with Uber and a driver, Uber Valet. I'm talking about Uber Valet, and a driver come and give you the car, and then like a burger, take the car, and then another driver come and take the car, like Uber Connect packages, and they take the car. And I think it was great. I don't know, and if you do Uber Valet, you can comment, because I really, the drivers that gave me the car, they said it was good. It was like 30 plus tips, but they have, it's not like driver app that driver pay you an Uber so you can go and collect the car in with Uber. And it's interesting because driver pay an Uber to the driver, but Uber, no, you have to go and pick up the car with your own money or whatever, and then you have to go and pick up the car, and you have to tell a friend, hey, can you take me to this hotel or something, because I have to pick a car. Uber is not helping the driver in that matter. So if someone is doing Uber Valet, I know that I went away from
Uber Connect is scary, dude, as it is. That thing is like for drug dealers only.
Well, you missed
100%.
last week, Jason.
You missed last week.
It was horrible.
awful.
So, But I will say that there were two companies that were actually doing pretty well. And what did Uber do? They bought them out. So maybe this is just to put this out of business so anybody doesn't even try and do this stupid idea. Maybe that's what they paid for. This idea is so stupid. Let's just buy the two companies doing it and never use it and put it out of business, because it was Brex and Ramp, I guess, were two expense management providers for executive assistants. And Uber bought them both and said, we'll run it.
To the ground.
Yeah, to the ground, literally. Like they did Corner Shop.
Yeah, I mean, I still wonder what that all was about. I mean, because the only thing I can come up with is that they did Corner Shop because it's still used down in Peru and South and Central America as Corner Shop. It's kind of like Postmates. They own Postmates. I think
they just wanted their database. I think they just wanted all their customers, so that way.
But why did they even bring it here? Is my point, and just tease people.
Because they don't need it. If they integrated Uber, like Corner Shop, into Uber, the only thing they are is gaining all of their customers. And then when they did it, they ran all those promotions when they first started. It's like 25% off your grocery order, $40 off your grocery order. So now they have people that were on Corner Shop using Uber. They don't need it because now just everybody's using Uber.
But like I was saying with like Postmates and stuff. So like I think it was Peru where Corner Shop, it was Peru where Corner Shop was born and developed and grew. In Peru, it's still Corner Shop. It's not on the Uber app. It's like Postmates. You can go to some places where you still use a Postmates app, but it's Uber.
I think in California, it's still Postmates.
It depends where, in some markets it is. Yeah. And that's my point. Down there, it's still Corner Shop. I guess it's owned by Uber, but I guess like here in the United States, why bring Corner Shop here? We didn't have Corner Shop.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, hey, let's get their database and flip them onto Uber. It was like, hey, we've got this great new thing, Corner Shop. We're bringing it up from South and Central America. You guys should check it out. Okay. All these people got into it and they're like, we're not going to do that anymore.
I remember the first video that I made from Corner Shop. It was really new in that moment. So I had to see some tutorial from people from Chile, from Peru, to see how it works and get a little knowledge. And it was like, I thought that video is from the States. No, it's from Peru. Interesting. And the guy, it was like delivered to me like, hey, let's go do Corner Shop. And I was like, interesting.
But politics aside, like they lost out because I thought Uber Eats was going to get better, at least with their interface with shopping. To me, Uber Eats is like the worst app for any kind of shopping. They're so confusing. They're not easy to use. Like I wish they would have integrated their systems somehow, because they didn't.
You can tell they didn't integrate it, because with Corner Shop, it was very easy to be able to do substitutions and all that kind of stuff. Uber Eats is horrible.
Horrible.
And now we're seeing, well, in my case, it's new for me. I know that every city is different. But I've been watching these catering orders with Uber. Not good orders, but I don't know if you can drop a comment saying, what do you think about Uber catering orders? The one that I saw was really bad.
I didn't even know they did. I'll be honest.
From what I know, what I know from talking just to merchants in my own, in New Jersey, is some of them use it as a last resort type of thing. And that's what I think is going through to Uber. Like they really couldn't get one of the third-party apps, or like it was so last minute they don't have a driver and I'm going to use Uber, because from what I know, Uber is one of the cheapest delivery fees out of all of the apps out there.
Really?
So that could be why you're seeing some of the crap orders on Uber.
So we got two quick last stories to get through, and they're quick. One is just to bring you guys up to date on Cheyenne has one too that I just want to hit with at the end here. But this one I wanted to bring up because Luis brought it up about Seattle, because this came out today. So Seattle's now it's publishing everywhere. You can find this everywhere. DoorDash has released their data that Seattle app-based worker minimum payment ordinance has caused a loss of $40 million in the DoorDash marketplace. The 6-week period after it took place on January 13th of this year, from January 13th to 6 weeks later, they had lost $7 million Just DoorDash. They've passed the. We know that they've passed the $5 fee along to the customers. They've increased the pay of the items. They've increased the fees. They've increased everything to the point where now Seattle, this is DoorDash. In February and March of this year, Seattle placed approximately 300,000 fewer orders through DoorDash and that's year to year. February, March, with projections of a loss of more than 1.7 million orders this year because of the new pricing model. So sometimes when you ask for more money, what it means is you'll never get offers. You've now completely wrecked your market, and here you go. And nobody can afford to use it anymore either.
Seattle's just a hot mess.
Yeah, because they want loss, and I understand that they want to improve driver. Well, do they? They want to. We're talking about organizations and people who promote these laws. Same thing with New York. I interview a member of this organization 2 weeks ago. Her name is Ligia. She's from New York. And they promote the law there in New York. And I interview her because
I know the story, so I'm trying to shut up.
So they promote the law, and then after the law came, everything was a mess there in New York. Drivers complaining, everything is really bad for the drivers and the earnings. And I interview her and I ask her, Uber start paying because they have this minimum pay, and they gave the law gave the option to Uber to pay or 17 different payments. I'm not gonna go into details, but or 17 or 30. And so they start paying 30, and then a month later they change it to 17. That created a really big problem. But the law allowed Uber to do that. And I was like, interview the organization, and I was like, why did it? I mean, you had to know these things. Where's your lawyer? Did your lawyer read the thing? Well, we didn't wrote the law, but you promoted it. So now that you're in a mess, you're saying that you didn't wrote the law, but you had to read it. Come on. So be careful with the people who represent you. And do you think that represent you? Because it might change their minds after the law get active. It makes me angry because they promote laws. But where is the law that protect the information from citizen and the information for the bots and the Uber accounts? Nobody is talking about that. Maybe because they are helping. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
With that situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting so ridiculous. And now you mentioned New York. The funniest thing is that I think just last week I was telling you, Luis, that a lot of these city council members who passed this in Seattle just want it gone. They don't want to re-talk about it. They don't want to reconfigure it like a lot of like other members on the city council. They just want it gone. They're like, we screwed up, just get rid of it, which would be the best move.
But you spend a year trying to create this law, a year trying to create a law, and then you have the law and it's awful. Now
Right.
you're going to have to what?
Because now your retailers are the ones suffering. So the city's suffering. I mean, we're not just talking about drivers now. We're talking about businesses losing out again. And now the president, Sarah Nelson of Seattle City Council, said that she is working on readjusting this legislation instead of based on the mile minute to just be based on pay period. What that means is she wants New York City model in Seattle now. So she wants to go from a big loser to another huge loser.
Stinker.
She's like, this loser's honestly just a little better than that loser, but it's still a huge loser.
And then everybody comes into the next state to flood everybody else's market.
Exactly. I mean, nobody, those people that they get excited with these rallies and stuff, it's too bad because they just are lying to you. You're going to make, when you hear somebody say you're going to make, understand that means you're not going to make this. They're actually just think of it backwards.
What I find kind of ironic is a lot of New York City people are coming into New Jersey because they don't want to be part of the tier program. And now all of New Jersey is going to tier. So, I mean, I guess they can escape the whole, hourly thing, but they're not going to escape the tier program anymore because it's going to be everywhere.
Am I wrong in the tier program? I mean, I don't know this, but isn't the tier program going to be everywhere soon?
Yeah.
We don't have it yet.
It's going to, I'm just saying, like, that it's when there's a rollout, it might be to a test state or two or a city, but when it rolls out to a few states, but I feel like this one's pretty clear it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah. It's staying for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know
Doing what they wanted to do.
Did you saw the Breaking Bad? The Breaking Bad, the TV show Breaking Bad. You saw it? The last episode where Mike tell to Walter White, "We had something beautiful, and you're ruined."
That's a good DoorDash commercial.
We had
There you go.
beautiful. Everything was great, and you're ruined.
Yeah, because he's talking to Mike. Yeah, and Mike gets killed in that scene. Sorry, spoiler.
Oh,
But they-
I hadn't watched it yet.
Right. If you haven't watched it yet, that's your problem. But they could have Tony Hsu be Walter White.
That'd be
Who is
terrible.
Mike? See you. Let's see that in the next episode.
That would be so bad.
But on a kind of more lighthearted but still not funny story, Cheyenne, you want to talk
Oh
about
my
this?
gosh. Well, there was this DoorDash driver that delivered some food to an apartment, and she got a notification that, the good old food was never delivered. So she went back, guys. Don't go back, but she went back. And the food was right there at the front door. And she knocked on the door, and the customer came to the door, and she was like, "Why did you say that your food didn't arrive?" And the customer said, "Oh, well, I was sleeping and I didn't know the food was here. So I told them that it didn't get here." And she's like, "But your food is here. Like, it's here.
You have to
And I
walk
already
out.
have the contract violation. Like, if DoorDash contacts you, can you please let them know that you have your food? Like, this is not good. I have a contract violation, but yet we both see that the food is here." And the customer is like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was sleeping. So that's why I didn't realize the food was there." So now people in the comments are saying, "Come on, like, why didn't the customer check the door first? DoorDash should have some type of verification where, the customer has to show something to show that the food wasn't delivered. Like, there should be some type of delay so that the driver can, I guess, explain themselves." But we all know how it is whenever the food doesn't arrive.
Yeah.
You get the contract violation, you explain it, and it either goes away or it doesn't go away. Most of the time, it doesn't go away. What's
I
the
don't
solution for
understand.
this?
Whenever I order, and it's not very often anymore, but whenever I order, I stock my phone. Like, how do
course.
people, when you order, not stock your phone to ensure that what you purchase doesn't get to your doorstep? Like that, it just baffles my brain that people
Or go to sleep.
I don't.
And if you did go to sleep, did you literally wake up and go, "Did I eat that? I didn't eat that. They never brought it." You didn't even go check. You didn't even go look. You didn't even look at your app that says it's delivered.
With the picture?
Yeah, with the picture. Your
They're
food has
probably
been
high.
delivered. Like,
That happened to me one time. I went to deliver to this clinic, and I gave the order to the I left the order in the desk, the front desk, and I took the picture. I left. Well, I received the contract violation, never deliver order. Well, the doctor was at home, and she forgot to change the address, so she never received the order. So she said that she called DoorDash and said that, well, she put that never. I don't know how they do that. Never received the order, and I had a contract violation. I almost cried that night. And I went to the front desk to talk because I was in the parking lot when I received the violation. And I went to the front desk, and this lady who was there, she was like, "I don't care. just go away. She treated me so bad, and I was like,
horrible.
no. And she treated me so bad. But 3 months later, I'm always talking about movies. Pretty Woman, when you work on commission, big mistake. That type of scene. I went back to deliver an order to that clinic, and there was another front desk lady, and the owner of the clinic was there, and she was like, leave the order here. And I was like, no, I cannot leave the order here. And I explained the thing, and the owner of the clinic was there. And she was like, what happened there? And I remember the name of Sophie, the doctor. I remember the name. And I told her, Sophie, and this lady, she's like this, and her color of the hair color. And I explained it to the owner, and she said, that is never going to happen again. Call Sophie. And she started to call people. And I was like, boom.
Oh no!
I create a problem for them, and the contract violation is still there, but I don't care.
That's all right. That's all right. She deserves that.
This again,
100
guys,
deliveries, Luis. 100 deliveries.
as we
That takes
leave, I
long.
got to mention that again. This is the company that says they know how to do facial recognition, Uber, but they can't do a food bag recognition of Luis's picture to see it was delivered before giving them the contract violation.
Good point. Good point.
Like
That's
somebody
fine,
called
though.
says
They
I didn't
have
get my
to take
food, and they're
care.
like, well, we have a picture that shows it at the hotel, at the delivery address, right there. And they're like, well, I'm not at the hotel. Okay, problem solved. We don't need to give them the contract violation.
Maybe we're gonna have to
That
go
is
to.
so true.
Maybe we're gonna have to go to deliver the orders with a TV station camera crew. Like, here I am, house 57. Wants me delivering the order. Come here, follow me. No,
Have a newspaper too.
this is me. Let's see the customer. Hey, Jeannie. Hey. Not my work.
Oh man.
All right, guys. That's a wrap for the week. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live, and thank you, panelists. Thank you, Jason, for sitting in this month. This has been great. Thank you, Luis, for joining us, and we will see you back here next week. And until then, be safe, earn smart, and don't be a dick. That's the new one, guys. Later.
She was just a baby. Ain't no way